Hi everybody, it's Az here with Azcast #1, my podcast show, the inception, the ground zero, the whatever. I'm your host, Az, and to my right or left, whichever way you're looking at this upside down, is my co-host Zurg. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing well, thank you. Yourself?
It's none of your business, mate. Now, obviously, I've gone radio silent recently. Had a bit of a spell in hospital. Come out, taking all the drugs in the world. Bit drugged up today, but we're recording and we're seeing what we've got. But apart from that, apart from being on massive amounts of drugs, being whacked out my head, I'm great. Yeah.
And you didn't even share.
I'm very selfish when it comes to drugs. Very. All mine. I know. So, this is a new venture for us. And this podcast is going to be about gaming, gaming-related issues, all types of gaming stuff, outside the industry, inside the industry. What does that mean, outside the industry? What does that even mean?
Board games, maybe?
That's a good one. You saved my bacon there. Yeah, because we're going to talk about actual tabletop game as well today.
Not just a pretty face.
I know. Hey, you've earned your paycheck. That's the best fiver I've ever spent in my life.
A fiver? Jeez.
I know. It's an IOU. It's an IOU for a fiver. Okay. You know, we haven't quite gone to the cash section yet. So we're gonna start things off with just a general news discussion. What's been going on during the week in the wonderful world of gaming, and then we've actually got some specific topics that we'd like to discuss. Our topics today are going to be God of War, commonly referred to as Dad of Boy, abusive father of boy. You've got to have seen the boy memes all over the internet.
Who hasn't?
Boy.
Who hasn't? You're probably not even into gaming, and you've probably seen the memes.
I should have actually painted myself, and you could have been my boy. Boy! I should have had Kratos under my name instead of Az, and instead of Zerg, should have had Boy. Where it's actually this side. Boy. That would have been great. Great way to start the show off. We're going to be discussing Detroit Become Human. The demo has hit the PlayStation 4. So that's something we've both got our hands on. Because one thing I've got to say before we start is you haven't played Dad of Boy.
No, I haven't. No, it's on the cards. But I have... I don't know if it makes any difference or not, but I have played God of War 1 and 2 back in the day.
Yeah, it makes no difference.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
And...
Damn it.
Yeah. I know this is a little bit late, but this is our first podcast together, so this is our first opportunity to really discuss it. We're actually going to have a wee bit of a Far Cry 5 discussion, because this is a game that we've both played now. I didn't like it at all, and I think you were certainly more positive than I about the game. And I think in overall it's actually had quite a good reception, which I genuinely don't quite understand. So we're going to have a little discussion about our contrary opinions, possibly, on Far Cry 5. So let's kick things off. With some general news. Going to start off with a little bit of sad news. First podcast, and the first bit of news, a little bit sad. Well, very sad, actual fact.
I was going to say it's a huge loss.
Yeah, it's pretty heartbreaking. Total Biscuit has pretty much announced his retirement. He says he's semi-retired, but he's pretty much announced his retirement from games journalism. He put out this big, docket, I suppose, on Reddit. On behalf for his missus did on behalf of him, where he essentially said that the medication's not working. It's now just kind of like a matter of time. We don't know how much time, and he wants to spend it, rightfully so, with his wife.
Well, yeah, who wouldn't?
Sad.
What he has done for the community, the gaming community in general, it's phenomenal. The way he's taken it and stood up for the little people and just everything he's done, I think it's just amazing. I looked up to the guy I still do the stuff that he's done. So yeah, I mean, he's fought really, really hard, and
Oh yeah.
I think even in his document that he put out on Reddit, he did say that even the doctor said that he has beaten the time that they said he would have. Obviously, he's not gone into any details of what that was. So the fact that he is on extra time, I think it was. That,
he's shown so much class.
Yeah.
With his illness, especially, you know, he had some rather horrible people, some horrible detractors. That disgusting man who I don't like to bring up, who said he couldn't wait to report on Total Biscuit's death. Keemstar. What a horrible, disgusting, vile human being he is. And he's just shown class throughout the whole situation, which must be so terribly hard on him and his wife and his family and his friends and stuff. And I probably wouldn't have a YouTube channel today if it wasn't for Total Biscuit. You know, as a huge World of Warcraft fan, during Cataclysm started to gravitate towards his videos. I really liked his no-nonsense approach, unapologetic approach. I thought it was refreshing. I like that. I like that sort of attitude, Kel Surprise. I like that kind of attitude where people don't try and gift wrap anything or bullshit you. They just tell you how it is. And I appreciated that so much. And yeah, he was definitely one of my inspirations when it came to creating my own YouTube channel and choosing the direction that I wanted to go. Did I want it to be a fluff channel where just, you know, I'm just going to say everything's great? Or do I just tell it how it is? And yeah, if it wasn't for TB, I don't know which way I would have gone. But yeah, I decided to go for the no-nonsense approach. And God bless him. TB, you deserve all the rest you get, mate. I really hope that whatever time you have left is as long as possible, and you know, you and your wife do get to spend those wonderful moments together. But it is so sad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
he's got. It will be a huge. I mean, I don't want to talk about him in the past tense because he's still kicking around now. But, you know, the industry, just for him retiring, shall we say, just for him retiring, the industry is worse off without him. So, God bless you, man. Sincerely, God bless you.
To mirror what Az said, just, yeah, if you ever see this, TB, or friends or family or whatever, thank you so much for what you've done for the gaming community as a whole, not just on YouTube, but and on Twitch as well. Thank you so much for everything.
Amen, dude. So with the sad news out of the way, we are talking about the gaming industry, and what an unbelievable segue in. Have you heard of a game which has just hit the mobile market called Harry Potter's Hogwarts Mystery?
No. I would, you know, if I'm honest, I was going to say it sounds a bit of a mystery to me. I've not heard of that one.
Well, I mean, I'm not a Harry Potter fan. You know, I've watched like 3 of the films.
I've seen them all.
Never read any of the books. It's not my cup of tea. I get why people are into it. You know, I like loincloths and bikinis and big swords. So I get why people are into school uniforms and wands, you know what I'm saying? So I do get it. But this mobile game has come out, Harry Potter's Hogwarts Mystery. And we have had in recent times these horrendous issues with EA and loot boxes, and not just EA, of course, but the fact that EA's egregious money grub when it came to Star Wars Battlefront 2. And the hoo-ah that it kicked up with essentially being a pay-to-win game. And the outcry from the community, of course, really put the highlight and the focus on loot boxes and the industry. So in the minute, the industry is literally under a microscope when it comes to shitty microtransactions and stuff like this. So this game comes out, Harry Potter's Hogwarts Mystery. Real basic piece of crap game. Obviously, just living off the franchise title. And all you do is like tap a screen to do anything in the game. Tap a screen, tap a screen, tap a screen. And every time you tap the screen, it uses energy. And you have like a certain amount of energy points. And every time you tap, you lose a bit of energy, blah, blah, blah. And after going through like a basic tutorial type of phase, the game literally thrusts your character into being attacked by like tentacles or something. I'm not getting a bit sexual here. Where the tentacles wrap around your character's neck, but yeah, throttling you. Literally throttling you.
What is the age limit on this game?
Probably 3, because it's Harry Potter. And surprise, surprise, you've got to tap the screen and use your energy to break free. But guess what, Zerg? Guess what?
I'm going to take a stab in the dark. If you don't have the energy, you die.
Well, nearly. The game has set itself up in a tutorial that you've just wasted enough energy that you don't have enough to break free. However, you can either wait 4 minutes for 1 energy point to come back, and there's like 24 energy points in total. Or guess what? Guess what?
I'm going to take a stab in the dark there. You're allowed to sit there for 4 minutes and watch your character be choked out.
Well, no, you could go to the store and buy energy.
No
with
way.
Real money.
No way.
Now,
awesome.
There is egregious shit on out there, and there are like EA is just like EA Activision, just like the gods of. If God of War is the best game in the world at the moment, then EA and Activision are gods of shit. That's what they are. But this is not that I'm saying this is EA Activision, but just using them as perfect examples. But no, you could just go straight to the money store and buy energy, so you can top it up with real money. And this is so your character. You've created this character in this crap little game, and then the very first thing, or one of the very first things the game does, is literally throttle you, choke you. So do you want to watch your character being choked, or visit the store and buy some energy to break yourself free? This is why I've never done any reviews or anything about mobile gaming. Mobile gaming is just a mire of shit. That's all it is. Yeah. There's no good mobile games out there. It's all about tap, go to the money store, buy these tokens, buy those tokens, buy the tokens. It's all just fucking shite. I think as the only YouTuber that turned down that goddamn RPG that they the mass campaign with. I won't say any names in case I offend the innocent. But I think that's one of the only YouTubers that when they said, "Hey, will you do?" I was like, "No, I don't like. I have nothing to do with mobile gaming. I don't want nothing to do with pay to win games. Piss off."
That's the one that plays itself, isn't it?
That is the one that plays itself is like Final Fantasy. Is it Bravus X or something? That just plays itself, and you literally are just like tapping the screen to add money or whatever it may be.
Your character goes off and does its quest by itself, doesn't it?
Well, no, it's just like all these characters on the screen, and they're all just fighting, and you're just like tapping the screen for them all to come in. Like as they get knocked out, you're tapping for another one to come in, and then it's just like money, please, fill them back up, money. No, mobile gaming can just die in a big pile of shit. Because that's all it is. Suffocating shit.
Can I keep a bit of that shit for myself, please? Because I actually play mobile games. I play one mobile game.
What mobile games do you play?
I play Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle.
Alright, you can keep it.
I kind of enjoy it. It's a gotcha game, but I played the free-to-play version of it. I don't actually put money into it.
The only mobile games I've ever played in my life, I think... I'm probably lying here. I've played Angry Birds, and I did like Angry Birds. I've got to confess, I liked Angry Birds. The one where you jump up. Which one was that? You jump up on the platforms and.
Oh,
You like bouncing.
there were loads of them.
I can't remember which one it was. The OG one of those I really liked, and I think that is essentially, unless I'm buying a legitimate game which is now available on mobile devices, like Final Fantasy V's now available on mobile devices.
Yeah,
I'll buy stuff like that from time to time, but I
full
don't.
titles.
Yeah. I don't specifically. Yeah, it's easy for me to say. I don't go and source out shite. Ooh, I feel like losing a lot of money today.
Yeah.
I wonder what one of the thousands upon thousands of shit mobile games out there I can do that with.
There are lots for you to choose from if you've got money burning in your wallet and you've got nothing to do with it.
Well, I think the long story short, Harry Potter, fuck off. Yeah. And speaking of the complete reverse of this, Belgium. What do you know about Belgium, Zerg?
It's a country?
It is a country, correct?
It is a country, right? Okay,
Well
yeah,
done.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Their native tongue isn't English?
Correct.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna win it here, aren't I?
It's French.
Does it have anything to do with loot boxes by any chance?
This does have something to do with loot boxes, yes. Can you guess what it is?
I'm gonna take a stab in the dark again.
And we can all see you watching your screen if you're watching this on video. But okay, yeah. Reflecting in your glasses, showing us what you got. Yeah, go on.
I was making sure I still had the tab open for it. I didn't get the information wrong. Damn it!
So what's going on in Belgium? What's going on in Belgium, sir?
They're not very happy with loot boxes, are they?
Why aren't they very happy? Tell me why.
Because they are breaking the law when it comes to gambling.
Well, yeah, they've deemed loot boxes are gambling.
Yes.
That is what they have deemed, and therefore illegal.
Yep.
And if you want to break those rules, you go to prison.
Yep. Oh, and guess who's in the clear for that as well now?
Who's in the clear? Who's a complete saint when it comes to loot boxes?
Oh yeah, they don't do anything wrong, do they? That's all.
Well, I mean, I liked the way that Activision during the recent loot box discussion said, "Well, you shouldn't really include us in this with our Overwatch stuff. I mean, that's got nothing to do with loot boxes or anything. Okay, sure." But I'm gonna have a stab due to the fact that a lot of the big problems in Belgium, I think, are coming from FIFA, which means, guess what? It's in the game. EA, our favorite piece of shit company, EA. I think they issued a statement, EA, saying, "Who? Us? What? No, what? No, what?
You're mistaken.
No. I think that's pretty much what the statement said. Yeah, EA, I think they said something like, "No, not our loot boxes, no, it's not gambling, no. I mean, we've just had a whole game having to completely redo itself because the whole progression system completely changed because we actually made a pay-to-win loot box system which had random things inside, ergo gambling, ergo whatever." But okay, sure, EA, yeah, no problem. You did nothing wrong, did you? So it's good to see. It's good to see because I think recently also in Hawaii they didn't pass the loot boxes are evil thing, and it's nice to see that a country in Europe, especially Belgium. God bless Belgium. Especially Belgium. It's nice to see a country's actually putting the foot down when it comes to this type of
it's
crap.
A step in the right direction, isn't it? And hopefully other countries will take suit.
Well, it's just so weird because this house that I'm living in now, I've lived in this house for 5 years. Okay? Yeah. When I moved into this house 5 years ago, loot boxes weren't a thing.
No.
We bought and we played video games, and we were complaining about DLC, and we were complaining about pre-order bonuses. Now,
season passes.
Yeah. well, I don't even know if season passes were too much of a thing then either. I think they were maybe just starting to make their way in. I think they might have been a couple of years later, season passes. But now, we're just dealing with this loot box.
It's it is 2017 for me has been.
Did you read that EA statement? Is that what you were reading off then?
No, I wasn't. No.
Okay.
I mean, I can if you want me to.
Was it just
no, I was.
Signed EA.
I was going to say 2018. I realized, hold on a second. We're in 2018. Last year. 2017 for me personally was the straw that broke the camel's back when it came to loot boxes. Before, I couldn't give a toss about them. What people decided to do with their own money is entirely up to their own. It's their choice. But the fact that it just grew to the point where it's going into games which are more aimed at the younger generation, kids and things like that. Then
I think the way that they're being marketed and pushed, I think people were very aware of the Battlefront 2 stuff, mainly I think because of Shadow of War.
Yes.
And that complete shit tip of a loot box system which essentially broke their game.
Yeah.
Broke their Nemesis system, which was meant to be like the coolest thing in the first game. And then suddenly, instead of having this Nemesis system, you could just buy boxes of orcs. So that fucked it all up.
Then they tried to fix it by increasing the amount of legendaries you get from quests. And then just recently, I think last month, they got rid of loot boxes completely.
Yeah, after they've made all the money that they're going to make off of them. Because nobody's buying the game.
Yeah.
Probably nobody's playing the game. So they've made the money that they're going to make off their loot boxes. And then they turn around and go, hey, guess what? Now that we've fucked ourselves and we've made all the money that we can, and nobody's playing this game anymore, we're going to turn off the loot box system forever.
Oh, we didn't see that one coming, did we?
Aren't we great? Yeah, fuck off. Loot boxes. I mean, also, loot boxes they're getting to a problem because we've got this whole, well, are cosmetics okay? Are cosmetics not okay? Business. I'm on the fence that I'm not happy even with cosmetics because I believe that cosmetics could be in the game itself. And you could actually be acquiring them through doing stuff in the game. Because, call me an old-fashioned gamer, Zerg, I like to play to get my shit. As opposed to pay to get my shit. And I think this whole nonsense about, oh, well, Jeremy works a 40-hour-a-week job, When he comes home, Jeremy likes nothing more than to get his credit card out and to pay his money. So he doesn't have to go and grind our shitty crap game. Our great, wonderful game. Look, if you've got to get your wallet out and buy a loot box to get something, to me, that says that the content in your game sucks a donkey's dick. And it says there's a massive problem with your actual game itself. Mm-hmm. That people would rather be more inclined to get the wallets out and pay to bypass this. Either bypass the content, speed up, whatever it may be, than to actually physically do it.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Right, so now that we've dealt with some shite, to end the news segment, before we start getting to our discussion pieces, even though we've kind of had a bit of discussions already, I want to plug something. This is not a sponsor, by the way. This is not a sponsor at all. It's just something because I think it's great.
He loves it so much.
I do. I backed the Kickstarter for the Dark Souls board game, man. And I'm a big fan. Speaking of, we're talking obviously with TB earlier and no nonsense YouTubers and out there. And Angry Joe. I'm a big Angry Joe fan. I love the guy. Him and other Joe. I think the reviews are fantastic. I think he's very entertaining. I really do like the guy. I think he's done great work for the industry. Even if half of it's blackballed him. Because, heaven forbid somebody actually tells you the truth. But he's been working on a Street Fighter tabletop.
Yes, I have heard of it.
game which is currently out on Kickstarter, and it's only got about a day and a half left. And as shit, I just gave out when we recorded this. It's only got half a day left. Oh no! It's only no! This is Friday. It's not Thursday night. Honestly, yeah, it's only got about half a day or so left to run on it, and it looks so much fun. I would highly recommend, if you have a bit of cash to spare, go on over to Kickstarter, put in Street Fighter. I might even put the link in the description down below. Actually,
do you know what? I'm so glad you said that, because I was just about to grab the link and paste it into chat, forgetting that we're not actually live.
No, we're not live. We're not. This is actually recorded, Zerg. We're gonna have to. Wait, watch it. If you're listening to this and not watching this, then you would have missed me punching Zerg across the airwaves.
It makes more sense with just the sound, but visually,
yeah.
There's
I think that's a pretty good sound, actually.
There's a portal there.
Yeah. But this Kickstarter campaign just looks amazing. Go watch the videos of him actually physically playing the game. It looks like a really good, fun game to play. The miniatures are all painted. The Dark Souls ones aren't. I'm gonna have to. But it's good. It's good. There are some really talented painters out there. But the miniatures just look fantastic. He's current on about $1.5 million raised so far, which means he's smashed so many stretch goals, which are adding just more and more and more free content to people who are backing the campaign. Loads of different miniatures, loads and loads of them. There's different boards, different cards, different environments, different terrains, and all this kind of stuff. It looks like a really, really class project. So I just wanted to give it a bit of a plug in its remaining hours. Back it, please back it. It looks fantastic. I've backed it. That's the God's honest truth. I've backed it. Yeah, so do it. Maybe we need to get some sponsors for the show.
I thought you were sponsoring me to do this.
Oh. Yeah, we need to talk about that.
That's wise again.
Right, so that's the news. That's the news. That's the news of the week done. We'll have some more news next week.
Hopefully some more happier news next week.
Yeah. I hope so. So let's go on to our discussion pieces. Let's start off, because I've played it and completed it, and you have yet to play it, which makes an interesting dynamic, because I'm gonna try and talk you into buying Dad and Boy.
Okay.
We're going to talk about God of War here. Now, you'll probably be aware yourself that this is just getting absolutely sucked across the board by...
Yeah, I have seen a lot of people tweeting, doing their own videos about it, saying it's the best single-player experience I've ever experienced ever, which, for me, is a tall order, because my very best single-player experience, Last of Us. Oof. That makes me cry every time I play that game. All in the right places, all the feels are in the right places. So if people are saying Dad of War, or whatever they're calling it now.
Dad of War, Dad of Boy, abusive Dad of Boy, abusive Dad of War, whatever.
If they're saying it's better than The Last of Us, that's a tall order. That for me is like, I've got to try this.
Well, I'm massive fan of The Last of Us. No doubt. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Naughty Dog in general. Uncharted, Last of Us. I love cinematic games.
Same.
I understand people who, don't. I get it. But I'm a person who loves narrative, and I love cinematic experiences. I like to play a bit. I like to watch a bit. And I don't think anyone does it better than Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
Or did it better than Naughty Dog?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, sorry, I don't know who. I can't remember the dev for.
Well, it's Sony.
Dad of War.
It's Sony.
It is a Sony one, right? Okay. So if Sony are like topping Naughty Dog, that's pretty big.
Well, there's a lot of special things. First of all, personally, this is just a personal thing. I liked it more than Last of Us, and I would have given Last of Us 9.5 out of 10.
That's pretty big coming from you, considering you're the one that sold me on getting The Last of Us.
Yes.
He's at it again.
I said, buy it, stream it, you'll love it, and I think you ticked all those boxes.
I did.
I'm finding it. Honest to God, I'm finding it so difficult where I could take any points away from God of War. Right. This game isn't just... I mean, it is easily the most beautiful-looking PlayStation 4 game you've ever seen in your life. But the whole dynamic between the father and the son is phenomenal. The gameplay and the combat is sensational. The environments, although it's a linear game, the environments and the story just feels right. It just leads you all the way through. And they do this very clever thing where it never looks like you go through a time stoppage. It's as if from the start of the game to the end of the game is a sweep. You know, there's no like...
lead me by the hand.
It's just go along. But people who just want to like smash through the story, you can probably smash through the story in around about 15 to 20 hours, let's say.
That's still pretty good.
Which is, for a single player game, very good. And that is just concentrating on the story alone. If you do the side stuff, there is so much extra for you. Not just in terms of content, but in terms of character development with Dad and Boy, with the fact that you open up new lands to go to. And one thing which I thought was very good about this game was it didn't repeat. Every place that you went, there was something completely different, whether it's a puzzle or whatever you're doing. But it wasn't one of these, and we'll get onto this when we talk about Far Cry. It wasn't one of these open world games where you essentially just did the same shite all the way through. Every world that you went to had a complete different aesthetic and different creatures or a different goal to achieve. And it always felt as if you were doing something new across the board. And the way that they had the world serpent lower the water in the Lake of the Nine, or whatever it's called, Sea of the Nine. And so it would open up more areas for you to explore. The deeper you got into the story was just so clever indeed as well. So not only have you got phenomenal acting, Christopher Judge from Stargate SG-1 is Kratos.
No way.
Yeah, he is Kratos. Teal'c.
Does he sound like Teal'c though?
Oh yeah, he's boy.
Oh, I like Teal'c.
Oh no, if I get boy.
If you're gonna mimic Teal'c, you gotta say indeed, because that's what he said a lot.
Indeed. But yeah, Christopher Judge is Kratos. Troy is in there, and our own Nathan Drake himself. Oh my God.
Of course.
Of course. They're in there in the game too. Nolan North. Sorry, Nolan. Big apologies there. Yeah, Nolan North's in the game. Troy Baker. He's in there as well. It's just the Norse mythology with Kratos is the juxtaposition of them, because obviously he's an Olympian god, and then suddenly you have him plunged into Norse mythology. It's wow. And there are so many little secrets in there. I found a secret ending, which once I finished the game, I was just going around finishing off the additionals, and then I decided to do a couple of things, and I unlocked a secret ending.
There's multiple endings then?
Well, no, there's one. It's a secret ending once you finish the game. There's a secret ending, additional little bit.
Right, I get you.
And then I immediately went to YouTube and was just like, secret ending, am I the first person to get? And it's like there. I was like, damn. Because the first person discovered it, had like 1.5 million views on the video.
Damn it.
So I was just like, shit, I'm 3 days too late. But I didn't look, because I never looked anything up, because I just wanted to explore this incredible world. I just wanted to explore what was out there, and I can easily say without any hyperbole that God of War is one of the best games I have ever played in my life. It goes right up there with The Last of Us. It goes right up there with games like The Witcher 3, Resi 4 at the time.
Awesome game.
Yeah, this is a console seller. This is a console selling game.
Like Sony needed any more.
Like they needed any more to go with the 700 million, whatever they've sold, the billion, I don't know. The fact that I think they've sold a PlayStation 4 to everybody in the world now, but now you need 2 in case somebody's playing something else. So you've got to get it. You've got to get it. Has that whetted your appetite?
It's almost like it's so good.
Am I tickling your balls?
You've not just tickled them, dude. You're
I'm rubbing the shaft as well.
The thing is, because you sold it to me so well, I don't want to play it because I love those games. I love The Witcher 3. I love The Last of Us. I love the Nathan Drake stuff. All of that. If this beats them, that's going to break my heart because I love them games.
Oh, it's not. It's not. I trust you because, trust me, it's going to be another game to add to that repertoire. It's going to be another game to add to that list. Hey, we'll have no nudity. We'll have no nudity on air. You naughty cat. No, it's another one to add to that list. I don't think you wouldn't be heartbroken at all. I think you'd be so glad to have another title up there.
Yeah,
I think you'd be so glad to have another title up alongside those. But
question,
you got to get
Did you play it on the standard PS4 or the Pro?
Pro.
Right.
I am a PlayStation 4 Pro owner. But I did go. This is a little treat for all the video viewers out there. I did get the Dad of Boy pad as well. No, I play it on the Pro, but Angry Joe I think played it on the regular PlayStation 4. I had no issues.
Right. Okay. Because that's my problem. I'm having like
hey,
I want to get a Pro to play these games. I want to play The Last of Us 2. I want to play Dad of War in its full glory. My concern is if I play them on the older hardware, what am I going to be missing out on? Apart from obviously the HDR and the possible frame stability, because obviously, if they can't run at 60, you'll get a smooth 30 guaranteed, which I'm okay with. Whereas on the older hardware, if it's running at 30, it is going to dip in more.
Sure. No, I appreciate that. You do get an option on the Pro to prioritize frame rate or resolution.
Okay. You
do get that option, but for people who have played it just on the regular PlayStation 4, no issues at all. So I think we're okay with that. Right. I think let's move on to the next discussion piece.
Yes.
Speaking of PlayStation 4, I don't mind which consoles are out there, Xbox or PlayStation 4. I'm not particularly one party or the other, but I do just prefer the PlayStation 4 to the Xbox One. So if you hear a lot of PlayStation 4 stuff, it's just a preference. Last generation, it was the 360 over the PlayStation 3 all day long.
Without a doubt. From my experience, I mean, I had both of them. I had the PS3, I had the 360. I've got the PS4. I've got the Xbox One, and it's done a 180. So it's completely flipped on its head. Whereas before, the 360 was my favorite console.
Absolutely,
it had everything I wanted.
Yeah.
But now the PS4 has got everything I've wanted.
Yeah.
It's not so much where my friends are, because I don't really have money, but that's beside the point. It's got the games that I want to enjoy, the single-player games, the story games. They're there.
We're gamers. We never have friends, Ricky.
I've got one right here, thank you very much.
Lulu!
Yeah, so
but yeah, so if you hear a lot of PlayStation 4, it's just because. But what we're going to talk about next is another PlayStation 4 exclusive. And to be honest with you, before we go into this is probably why the PlayStation is doing so good. Is the exclusives at the moment are knocking it out the park. And the Xbox exclusives are just not living up to expectations. They're either getting cancelled, or you've got Sea of Thieves, which is just a vacuous, empty game that doesn't seem to have any real purpose, which is a shame because Sea of Thieves look really good. Or they're going, because of the way that Microsoft is doing stuff, you could just buy it on a PC.
Yeah.
So why get an Xbox One exclusive when you can buy it on a PC?
Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon on PC.
I mean, I'm really interested in the State of Decay 2.
Yes.
Out at the end of this month. Xbox exclusive. Well, it's out on the PC as well.
Yeah, it's going to be cross-compatibility, so you only got to buy it at once.
So I don't even have to get it for my Xbox One. I can just get it for the for Windows, and there you go. But yeah, the next exclusive that we want to talk about is there is a demo up on the PlayStation Store for anybody to download and play. Detroit Become Human from Quantic Dream. This is the same company that brought you Heavy Rain. I loved Heavy Rain. I absolutely adored Heavy Rain.
Beyond Two Souls?
Beyond Two Souls as well came after Heavy Rain. Didn't quite do the critical acclaim of Heavy Rain itself, but was still, I think, a relatively well-received game. Had Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe.
Two fantastic actors.
Yeah, two amazing actors in Beyond Two Souls. I've yet to play Beyond Two Souls.
Oh.
I do have it behind me on PlayStation 4, HD remake with Heavy Rain HD remake. But I've yet to play that.
I think it's free on PlayStation Plus for May as well.
Oh.
I'm sure I saw it on there.
Well, I've got it anyway. So but yeah, the same people that brought you Heavy Rain and brought you Beyond Two Souls, Quantic Dream, at it again with Detroit Become Human. Demo, a negotiation scene demo, is available. And I am so excited about this game. It's unreal. Number one, because I followed... Not only have I been following Quantic Dream since Heavy Rain, but I followed Detroit Become Human's birth from... There was a tech demo that they did back in 2012 called Kara.
Right.
Where there was an actress... I can't remember her name. Veronica somebody... Can't remember her full name, unfortunately. Veronica somebody. She was the actress that they used to sculpt off, and it was incredible. It was this android being put together, assembled, kind of, sort of, Ghost in a Shell-esque-ish. But putting together this robot, and somebody, a voiceless, you had just heard the voice. Somebody was asking them various questions, who are you? What's your designation? And they were putting this robot together, and it got to the point where she failed something because she said, "I think," and this voice is just like, "What do you mean you think? You're just a robot. She's defective. Disassemble." And they start pulling the robot apart. She's just like, "Stop it!" And then she screams out, "I'm afraid!" And then everything stops, and she's like, "Please, I just want to live." And then
I must have missed that.
The guy, you got to source out. It's called Kara, Kara. 2012 tech demo. It's like a 7-minute short where they were literally just showing off this technology and it looks beautiful. Think about it. When you watch this, think about it in 2012. It looks superb in 2018. Never mind 2012. So go source that out, people. Go watch that. And that turned into Detroit Become Human. That's the success of that tech demo allowed the creation of Detroit Become Human. So do you want to talk us through the negotiation scene then? And what you thought about it?
I'll tell you, first of all, when the game first, I want to say, because this blew my mind. Even having in mind, I'm on the old PS4.
Yeah.
Right. So my expectations for it was going to be a little bit lower than what they would be on the PS4 Pro, where it's slightly, you got that extra bit of hardware there. And when the game loaded in from right at the start, when the camera pans around behind the negotiator, I kind of expected it to sort of like everything just sort of change from the cinematic to the game. You get that jarry transition from a cinematic to in-game engine. Yeah. There was none.
No.
None whatsoever. So I was sat there for about a good 30 seconds waiting for it to transition in, and it didn't.
And I'm just like, you stood there.
I get to control this character, and like, holy crap, this looks amazing. And so, yeah, I did what you needed to do, and I was going around the apartment, chatting to all the other dudes that were there whenever I was...
So just to cut you off, the premise of the demo is that your character is an android. And your android, has been specifically constructed to act as a negotiator. And there is a hostage situation where another android that works for a family has gone postal, killed the father of the family, and is holding the daughter hostage. And so the premise is you have to go around the apartment to check things out, see if you can find any clues that may help you in your negotiation, see if you can see how things started to unravel in the apartment itself. But you're up against the clock as well, because the longer you spend doing that, the more agitated the perpetrator's getting, the worse the situation can be. So with that said, carry on, mate.
So, yeah. When I first started off with the timer, it was, I think I started off the percentage, because it gives you a percentage, doesn't it, of like your success rate.
What percentage chance you have of successfully talking this guy off,
so
killing the kid.
The more info you get, the higher your success rate is, but it's not guaranteed.
No.
Because every moment that game counts. Whether you if you sit there and you pick up a piece of evidence or whatever, you think that it might help you, you may get, say, like 10% extra on your success chance. But because you sat there and thought about, is this going to help me or not, you've wasted that 10% because the time's ticking down, the perpetrator's getting more and more agitated, and every moment in that game, that demo, to me, counted. And I felt I was like constantly on edge, like shit. Excuse me. That's exactly how I felt. I mean, you can bleep that out if you like.
No. And, look, we've been talking about EA. There's shit everywhere today, mate. There's shit everywhere.
So I was like, oh my god, am I going to do this right? And things like that. So after sort of exploring the apartment and getting the stuff I wanted on my first playthrough, my success chance when I went to go and deal with said perpetrator wasn't very high. And he was quite annoyed at me.
Good. I would be too.
So I tried to sweet talk him. And that made him annoyed even more, which annoyed me because I thought I was trying to be a nice guy. He saw right through it. And I was like, oh, I can't be a nice guy to this dude. He's just seeing right through me. And needless to say, it didn't end very well.
Well, I mean, this is the beauty. I mean, this demo, I think there's like 5 or 6 different endings.
There is 6, I believe, and 1 hidden one.
6 and a hidden one. There's 6 and a potential hidden one about how this negotiation can pan out. And one of the really cool things is at the end of the scene, it literally shows you like a family tree almost, or like a timeline.
Yes.
Where it fractures into the decisions that you make, showing you alternative decisions that could be made, and the fracture again of where those other decisions could lead. And I'm a cynical, suspicious motherfucker, me. And when I went into that negotiation scene for the first time, I was just like, right, let's find out what he's called. Let's butter him up. Let's find out who's got a gun. Let's I found the gun. I took the gun. I found out information on why he was getting pissed off. And then as soon as I went outside, I was like, hi, Daniel. How do you know my name? I'm one of you. I'm an android too. I'm one of you. Have you got a gun? I have a gun. Put it away. Okay. I did all the I knew all the tricks about trying to gain the trust and all this kind of stuff. And I actually ended up saving the girl, and we sniped the shit out of Daniel.
I couldn't get that ending.
Couldn't you?
No,
I think the timeline of that is actually on my Twitter. I posted a video of the timeline of how I got to there. But it's just, this is the kind of game that just excites me as a gamer. The way that you have so many decision options available. I got the guy sniped to death, pretty much. How did yours end?
Well, I played for it 4 times.
Right.
3 of the 4 times I got as close to him as I could.
Yeah.
But the work up before that, one time I didn't have the gun. The other 2 times I had the gun, and I told him about it.
Yeah.
The other time I didn't tell him about it.
Okay.
Remember that one? Because that one comes this. So there were 2 times I didn't have the gun, and 1 time I did, but I told him about it. And so I had to get to him as close as I could. Told him to get rid of the helicopter, gained his trust. But then all 3 times just fell apart after that. He just didn't want to play a game with me. So he went to go forth the edge. We grabbed the little girl and sacrificed ourselves. So I sacrificed myself 3 times, doing 3 different things. This is what I loved about this. And then on my 4th attempt, I took the gun and I lied to him. And I wouldn't let the helicopter disappear either.
Yeah, yeah.
And I shot him.
Now, did the girl survive?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, because if he fell off the edge with the girl...
he didn't... We shot him before he had the chance to get close enough to the edge to fall back.
Right, okay.
So the girl was... she fell away from the edge. And he just sort of...
Well, for me, one of the coolest thing about the situation is you're a robot, you're an android, right? And as soon as you arrive at the apartment, you see a fish on the floor. The fish tank in the wall has been smashed. And you can either pick up the fish and put it back into the tank and save it, or you can just walk on. Now, I chose to pick up the fish and put it back in because, I'm not a psycho. But the thing is, that was not a trick per se. But the game was trying to show you, I think this is what the game was trying to show you, was the fact that if you'd left the fish to die, it wouldn't have necessarily been a wrong decision because you're an android. You don't feel. Because when I went through the situation where I essentially manipulated the perpetrator, I found out his name. I knew that if I took the gun, he'd ask me if I had a gun, and I would discard it, building trust. I worked out why he killed the father. I worked out his relationship with the daughter. All these kind of things. So I knew these were all weapons for me to use, because I am a devious mother. I knew these were all weapons for me to use. And the most perfect thing was, once he let go of the girl and the cops came and they took the girl, and then the snipers all opened fire. After I promised him if he let the girl go, nothing would happen to him. And then he gets sniped to crap, and then he says, "You lied to me." And your character just is po-faced, turns around, walks off, because he's an android. Doesn't feel a thing. And I just thought, mwah! Perfect!
I got the same feeling from when I shot him, that because you are an android, there is that almost cold feeling about...
Yeah, the detachment,
Yeah, and after after the android and me shot the perp, all the other officers came onto the rooftop, or the balcony, whatever you want to call it, and David, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He literally...
Is it David?
I think it's David.
Is it David?
Is it David?
I'm not sure.
Or is that?
I'm not sure. Daniel is the perpetrator.
That's it.
Connor, you're called Connor.
That's it, Connor. Yeah, sorry, my apologies. Yeah, Connor. Yeah, he literally just doesn't even look at the leading officer and just hands him the gun and just walks off.
Yeah, again, that detachment.
I was like,
who's it? It's Brian Deckard that plays Connor, and I think the whole thing is really heavily motion captured. Like,
I believe it's all mo-capped.
And it's so well done, so well acted. You can really see the performances come through from the actors here. And I thought it's sensational. I thought it's absolutely sensational. I think also Brian Deckard was the FBI agent in Heavy Rain as well. I think they've used the same actor. I think. Right, but look, if you haven't checked it out, people, check it out on the PlayStation 4 store right now. Detroit Become Human. It's released at the end of this month, end of May. But the demo is such good fun. So many different endings. Play through once, mess up. Try to get different endings. It's really cool indeed.
I like there's no fail state.
But I like the fact, that's the beauty of games like this. Every consequence will have everything that you do will have a consequence. And this is why games like Heavy Rain to me was so good and so engaging. And this is why I'm very excited for Detroit Become Human. We've waffled a lot today, so we're going to have a very brief chat about Far Cry 5, which has been with us for a little while now anyway.
Yeah.
I personally didn't like this game too much. What after you've now finished the game, because you were like, when I first talked to you about it, you were just like, I'm really liking it.
I was halfway through it when we last spoke about it.
Now you finished it, what's your thoughts on?
I still enjoyed it. I got a lot of laughs. I got a lot of giggles out of it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Couldn't give two toots about the story. Then that's, as far as I'm concerned, my personal appearance, I don't think Ubisoft have really done a great story in quite a long time. I mean, I kind of liked, what do you call it? The Father?
No. The Botswana fishing team.
I mean, they were pretty good. I enjoyed the fishing in that game, by the way.
The combat, the flying, the
No, I was trying to think of one of the games that actually had a decent story to it. I couldn't remember its name.
What, Far Cry game or just any game?
just an Ubisoft game.
Whoa! No, you've answered correctly. That is the correct answer. When does a Ubisoft game actually have a good story? The answer is they don't. My huge problem with Far Cry 5 is you play it for an hour, you played the whole game.
Essentially, yes.
Apart from filling in the very shit story, and the story I thought was garbage.
There was no stories.
There was absolutely the main characters were just like nothing to them. And I went into this game. I might be a little bit responsible because I went into the game really thinking that we might get some sort of like fucked up Westboro Baptist Church shit, or something like that. Something that had really kind of like teetered over the edge. But
that's the way they marketed it, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought the marketing was we were going to have quite a philosophical game about religion, about violence, about lots of different themes. I thought we were going to have, and it's just crap.
Yeah,
it's just a crap story, just a basic bog standard Ubisoft. One's mad. One's psycho and one likes to use drugs, and it's just so standard. And then it looks beautiful, don't get me wrong, the world looks fantastic, the gunplay is great, but you just have to drive 5 meters down the street and there's another van coming towards you with soldiers, and there's another person at the roadside being held hostage, and everything. You just couldn't shit in the wood for just being, oh god, a plane's just come above my head. What am I wearing a big pink fluorescent suit?
Yes.
That just attracts everything to me. Because you can't hide, you can't do shit. You know, everyone. You're driving a car. You're driving one of their cars, which you've stolen. One of them goes past you. Oh no! The AI is horseshit.
It's terrible.
Horseshit in this game. And although the world's huge and it's beautiful to explore, the content in it is just typical Ubisoft. You've done it once, you've done it 1,000 times. There's nothing new. It's not like you go to a new area and there's new things to do. You go to a new area and you're just doing the same things as you're doing in the other area. And that's pretty much where you are with it.
I think a good example of that would be, I mentioned it today because I finished streaming it today, and I did one of the Huck Norris challenges, we're going to call them, because they're not really.
No,
it's just
they're all
how American
easy.
can we be while doing a course, whether you're flying through it, wingsuiting, or driving your vehicle through them, or while your car's on with ridiculous things going on. Your car's on fire, you're on fire, your plane's been shot, or whatever. You just got to complete the course. And I said to people watching, these would be really good if they weren't easy, if they weren't so bloody easy. 2, the music in it wasn't always the same.
Yes.
And 3, they were just different because majority of them were just go in and out of trees or under a few bridges.
Yeah, just go through the rings. Just go through the rings. But the whole problem for me was the fact that this is Ubisoft's problem for me as a whole. Is I can't tell a Ubisoft game from another one anymore.
No.
The only way that I can tell which game it is by identifying, like, oh, it's third person and it's back in time. It's Assassin's Creed. Oh, it's third person, but it's modern day guns. Oh, it's a Tom Clancy. It's first person. Oh, it's Far Cry. That's the only way that I can differentiate a Ubisoft game. They're just identical with the way that they do the contents. Identical.
The problem with them now is that they're so... I don't know what they know what their games are supposed to be, because Far Cry 5
boring as fuck springs to mind.
Yeah, it has a character customization, for crying out loud, in first person.
In first person.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Where you never see your character.
You can look at your feet and see your legs.
Yeah, you can see your legs. You can see your legs. What? Unlock all these t-shirts. Buy these t-shirts. Wear this. Why?
Why?
There's not even any mirrors for you to look at.
Yeah, buy in-game silver with real money, by the way.
Yeah,
for cosmetics that you can't see.
But that's why this is actually the one good thing that Far Cry 5 did was I was never ever in any fear of spending any money on that game.
No,
past the actual purchase price of it.
Don't get me wrong, I did spend silver that I found in game because you can't find it.
It's just about to go.
Yeah, no. If you get the lockpicking skill, you can open up the gold safes, and you get roughly about 100 to 250 silver per.
Yeah, I use the silver from the chests, but I just blowtorch them all over.
I never bought it. I would, if I had have done. I was so annoyed.
No.
It's like, ooh, get the prestige version of this.
But I just don't get where all this like love is coming from the game. I just don't get it. Normally, I can, if I disagree with something, I can at least see the viewpoint of the other side. With this game, I'm just like, how can anyone say this is a good game? I can understand them saying it looks great. I get that. I can understand people saying it's a good shooter. I get that. But as in terms of a good game and good game content-wise,
I think where I got more fun out of it was because it was a fantastic game for me to to stream, because I got to laugh at all the bugs and all the stupid things that have happened.
There is plenty of bugs.
There is a lot. There is
Plenty
a
of
lot, and it gets worse as the game comes out, because if you leave the faiths area to last, where all the drugs, you can't tell whether you're actually hallucinating or if the bugs were intentional.
That is good. Yeah, good point.
Because there were multiple times where I would be just walking or driving, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one of the cultists, one of the cultists would just spawn right in front of me.
Dude, they would do that outside of Faith's area.
I didn't get it outside of Faith's area.
I did.
This is what was really weird. So I couldn't quite figure out what's going on.
At one point, I was in a truck in the middle of the street with the machine gun in the truck, and I just sat there and I just watched things spawn and come towards me. And
that started to happen once.
And it was just ridiculous. It was just so ridiculously. It's such a badly made game.
I had. It's like going back to this cultist. He spawned right in front of me. And he just stood there. So I shot him, and then he turned into a bear because that's the
because that's the Faith hallucination. Yeah.
So then I shot the bear, and it turned into a skunk.
Yeah.
I shot skunk, and it disappeared. I was like, "What the? Is that the hallucination?" Of
in the Faith area, if something comes towards you, you kill them. It turns into something else, and you kill that.
Yeah. This
just kept changing. But needless to say. Far Cry 5, Far Cry 6, no.
Oh, can we talk about the ending, please, though?
No, because, no. The ending's shit. Alright, yeah, sure, go on, quick. Go on.
That's what I wanted to say.
Well, it's just the ending is so bad. I mean, there's no happy ending in this.
Wait, which ending did you get?
I got... When I first finished it, I got the nuclear ending, where you arrest him, you arrest the guy, and then suddenly all these nuclear bombs go off because he was actually right, which doesn't make any sense, because if he was actually right, that means God was truly telling him to do stuff. In actual fact, God's a massive twat. So that's that. And if you get the good ending, where you don't arrest him at the end, and you just let him go, you all get into your vehicle, you all drive off, no nuclear weapons, no explosions go off, and then the sheriff guy says to you, well, don't worry about leaving him, because we're going straight to the National Guard now, and we're coming back. And then he turns on the radio, and it plays the song that makes you go psycho, and you kill them all. And the whole game was shit. It was terrible. It was awful. I don't say this word often. I hated it. I thought the ending just was the icing on the shit cake. Was literally just squeezing out the turd on the shit cake. It was just... It was as if it tried so hard to try and subvert your expectations, but in actual fact, felt like it'd been written by a 10-year-old. Like a really... Actually, no, that's a little bit cruel. I think a 10-year-old could have done better. It actually felt like it'd been written by somebody who was trying so hard to be clever, but was actually thick.
Me.
Or me. It's a me ending. Any of us. Yeah, it was, to me, hot garbage.
If you like bugs, glitches...
If you like really bad storytelling, if you like bugs, glitches, a beautiful open world... A very, very annoying bunch of cultists that never stop coming at you from the moment you spawn, but with good shooting, then...
you get bear kisses and cat hugs.
Yeah, fuck that. Right, we're done, dude. We're already over. This is meant to be an hour long. We're already over. So the first Azcast comes to an end, dude. Zerg, thank you so much for joining us today. I think we've written the rights of the world in the first podcast already. So we'll be back next Friday with more news, more gaming discussion. Where I can always guarantee we'll be talking about Conan Exiles next week, as it hits its official launch in 5 days' time. Oh my god, that's all I can say. But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You say goodbye, Zerg.
Goodbye, Zerg.
And it's goodbye from me. You take care. Bye for now.